Drake Maye and Matthew Stafford. A lot of people are putting those two guys at the top of the odds, the list. Do we take it literally and value, right? The middle word in there is value. So if you took that literally and you took Drake Maye off the Patriots and you took Matthew Stafford off the Rams.
Are they playing on the opposing teams or just,
you just
removing them from the equation?
The value they're bringing to their teams, right? So now Josh Dobbs is the starting quarterback for the Patriots, and he's working with Josh McDaniels. He still has the coaches. He still has all the talent around him. And Jimmy Garoppolo is now the quarterback of the Rams, and he's working with Sean McVay, and he's working with Puka Nacua and whatever talent is around him. Like, do you look at it that way, or is it simply the best player at the quarterback position, the best stats, the best numbers? Like, how do you value it?
I value it. I don't ever usually spend a lot of time on this because
You're not a big MVP talk guy.
It just it just gets kind of, it's like draft talk. It just gets over after a while. But
about one-day contracts?
I look at it's just like one-day contracts, statute talk, all that. It's right up there with all of those power rankings. Put those up there. I would look at kind of the strength of schedule and who has the best wins. And then I got to factor in who also has the better defense. I think the Rams have a much better defense than the Patriots. Okay. And so I gave that helps Matthew Stafford when you have, I think, arguably a top 5, top 7 defense. The Patriots defense maybe top 18, 17, but not. And then you look at their best wins. So they beat the Colts in Week 4. And they beat the Ravens in Week 6, but the Ravens didn't have Lamar Jackson. And then the rest of their wins, I mean, the Jaguars, the Saints, and the 49ers. Okay, I mean, the 49ers, I guess, but those aren't the most. And they have their one loss is to the Eagles. And so I don't know. I just to me that doesn't really blow me away. I don't think he's beaten up on bad teams. And lost to we did lose to the 49ers and beat the 49ers once. So he's lost and beat them, but he's lost the Eagles too. I just look at that and I think of how good is the defense. So I give more credit to Drake Maye, new coach, new wide receivers, new offensive line, and not as good of a defense. So who's more valuable to his team? It is by far, in my mind, Drake Maye.
Now, if you were to take the same journeyman backup, let's say you put like Davis Mills, who came in relief Sunday of C.J. Stroud, had the fourth quarter of a lifetime, leads the Texans back to victory over the Jags, right? You put him on the Patriots, you put Davis Mills for a full game on the Rams. He is going to thrive with the Rams if he plays as well as he did Sunday because you're throwing to Devontae Adams. You're throwing to a top 3 receiver in the NFL in Puka Nacua. You've got one of the best running backs in the NFL as well. When you go to the Patriots, you're telling me like this whole system, the vibes, quarter in the jar, everything that's going on with the Patriots, a lot of it is just like culture and belief in each other, not like Mac Hollins, Steph Diggs. They'd be starting on any team. I'm not sure about that.
What about that?
What's more impressive? A kid doing, a Drake Maye doing what he's doing in his second season, or a 17-year vet doing what he's doing?
Drake Maye.
You think it's right? Yeah,
I think it's Drake Maye, and that's where I wanted to ask you because
I would say I think it is too.
I don't know who that other voice was with Bill Simmons, but that other voice kind of brought up like almost like a career recognition. He's been doing it for so many. I don't really care. What's he doing this year? It's the 2025 MVP. It's not the decade acknowledgement award, lifetime. You watch these TV shows, lifetime. No. This is the 2025 MVP. Is he the most valuable player this year?
Oh, here you go. He's never won it.
Right, that's my point, but I don't care.
But I didn't know that.
So now you want to vote for him?
Never won. No.
Oh, okay.
But that's why people are going to vote him.
I agree.
He's never won it.
This will be his Al Pacino winning for Scent of a Woman. It's like, that's not your best performance. Yeah, but he had never won it.
And Drake will get hurt.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. It was an example.
I mean, that court scene at the end, come on. And F you too.
And I'm just getting warmed up.
Take a flamethrower in this place.
So,
all right.
And it's the other two is because Drake Maye is in year 2. People will say, he's got 15 years to win it. He's got plenty of time. Don't worry about Drake. He'll be a candidate every. I don't like that mentality.
That is
the
correct,
award
though.
is this year.
One guy's got a coach who's considered one of the best offensive lines. Yeah. He's been there for a long time. with players that you guys mentioned that he's comfortable with that are at some of the best at what they do with a great defense. I mean, I'm sorry. To me, it's if you're going to make that case, I just think you can make a lot easier case for Drake winning it.
They've thrown for about the same number of yards, within 100. Drake has 19 passing touchdowns, couple rushing, 5 picks, 114 quarterback rating. Stafford has a similar quarterback rating, 25 passing touchdowns, 2 picks.
Yeah. But he has the better surrounding cast. If you just plop them in each other's uniforms, you don't think Drake would be even better out there? I think he would put up some phenomenal numbers.
Okay, well then how would Stafford do in New England?
I think he'd get killed. He's an old coot behind this offensive line. I think we'd be seeing Josh
But those
Dobbs.
sidearm no-look throws.
So, Ted, would you not want to vote for this award? Because all this comes into play. I think if you're a good voter, you probably, if you take it seriously, and like you're thinking about $1 million, well, this could happen, that could happen, this, consider that, the opponents, what? Would you want to do that?
No, no. I don't. I like talking about teams. I don't like talking about individual achievement. That's just not my jam. So I know I got to do it for this job. It just doesn't. It doesn't get me excited. I do like that I'm covering a guy that is in the MVP talk, and that's really if Drake Maye wasn't in the MVP conversation, I would care less.
Oh, same.
But it is kind of fun, and I've been a backer of Drake Maye, and I've always thought he was a special player, so I'm into it. And so, just to get this much out of me on this talk is saying something. I would not want to. I don't like. I hate that. I just think everyone's different. Each scenario is different, and I don't care about those kind of awards.
I think I would drive myself nuts, and we're biased as Bill Simmons said there. We're biased. Like, I think Drake's going to get screwed. I think there is just going to be this weird, we got to give it to Stafford. He's the old guy, or he hasn't won it, or this or that. Like, I don't think any of that should matter. It should be more like performance, surrounding cast, statistics, what he did this year.
But people are biased. They have their own biases.
I know. I hate it.
They're not. No one's going to ever admit it. No one's going to ever say, Matt Stafford's never won it. It'd be nice if he won it, because that would be fraudulent.
They're
but
just
they're
gonna
all
think
thinking
it
it
when
They're
they
all
check the
thinking
box
it.
next to his
It's
name.
happening. Like, the fact that when you put it out there like that, Ted, like, Andy, that part of your rationale, like, the kid's so good in his second year, he's going to be around, there'll be plenty of chances. Like, hey, Stafford, we got to honor him. Like, I know he's got a Super Bowl, but you never know when he's going to get a chance to be on that stage again. It's like,
I hate it.
If it continues down this path, that's how it's going to go.
And we hear about this in the NBA. They talk about fatigue. If a guy's won 1 or 2, now they have fatigue. They want to look for somebody else to give it to, because you can't give it to Jokic every year. Is he the MVP every year? Because if you can, you should. If you think Jokic is the MVP and the best player every year, but some people are like, this SGA kid is good. He's up and coming. Give it to, I don't know. To me,
I agree.
I feel like people overthink it, and I absolutely think I would overthink it as a voter, because people would bring up these other ideas, and it's like information overload, right? You'd have paralysis, analysis, or whatever there, and I think it's a great story. I think as much as I'm a New England person, and like you said, Ted, I've been a supporter of Drake. I thought he was going to be good. He is good. Do I want to be right? Sure. Do I want to take a victory lap and see? I told you he was going to win MVPs. I just didn't know it would be year 2. Mm-hmm. But I also think just like the most basic, it's kind of why some like Olympic sports are better. You sprint, I sprint. Whoever gets there first, they give the gold medal to, right?
That's that.
Like, there's nobody voting, but now we have 50 guys sitting around arguing.
Gymnastics, and there are the voting sports, and then there's just these
right.
straight up competitive sports.
But it's just, I don't know. I
also look at one more thing. I'm just, between these two, Stafford's coming off of a 10-win season. Like, the Rams. Theoretically, he's been comfortable with them. He knows what they are a good team going into the season. The Patriots didn't know what they were. That to me is a big part of why I think Drake should deserve it.
And not just a 10-win season. If you really think back, they're like a play or two away from beating the Eagles. They would have beat the Washington football team. Like, it was a borderline Super Bowl team. Like, that Rams team was much better than a 10-win team, and then people were giving him credit for. So, yes, he was definitely dropped into, or has been placed in, a position to succeed, whereas Drake, again, has largely been the tide that has raised the Super Bowl waters here in New England.
But don't take our opinions for it. We're in New England. We like Drake Maye. We talked to him on Patriots Monday. All these things, blah, blah, blah. Colin Cowherd has some thoughts on Drake Maye and his MVP candidacy.
It doesn't take long in any field to see great. Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, MVPs in their second year. Joe Burrow, second year, Super Bowl. My rule is if you got the right coach or at least a super strong coordinator, you'll be able to see by the second year if guy's going to be a legend. That looks like Drake Maye in New England. Todd Bowles, one of the best defensive minds in football, had 2 weeks to prep for him. This kid can spin it. I've watched him go on the road and beat Josh Allen and go on the road and beat and outplay Baker Mayfield. So I picked him as my double their win total team. I think they're going to triple it.
So this is one way to look at, like, try and play this out. Like, how is this going to look at the end? Is the Rams and Matt Stafford have 4 more games that I think are big games. So they got the Seahawks this Sunday, which is a huge game.
Yep.
They got the Bucks, they got the Lions, and then they got the Seahawks again. All right? The 2 other quarterbacks that he's competing against, Sam Darnold, they have the Rams, the Vikings, the Colts, the Rams, and I would put the 49ers in there. They're a decent team. And then you got they're in Bills with Josh Allen. They got the Bucks, the Pats, and the Eagles. And the Colts have, with Daniel Jones, they have the Chiefs, the Seahawks, and the 49ers. And really, right now, you have Drake Maye just has 2 more marquee games. So of all the guys that he's competing against, he only has 2 marquee games. You got Daniel Jones has 3 marquee games. Josh Allen has 3 marquee games. You have Sam Darnold has 5 marquee games, and you have out there Matt Stafford has 4 more. So there's either more games for those other guys to enhance their resume for MVP or to knock them down. Where only 2 more games really that are marquee games that Drake Maye can kind of prove his worth for the MVP award.
Okay, so let's muddy the water a little more then, because you brought it up.
Oh, boy.
Even though we kind of think of it as a QB award, it doesn't have to be a QB award. It can be, for example, Jonathan Taylor, who some people believe has carried Daniel Jones and the Colts to this point, or Jackson Smith and Jigba, if you wanted to include a wide receiver in this conversation and what he's done for Seattle. One of these teams is at the top of the conference standings and is on pace for 2,000-something yards, ridiculous numbers. Should those guys be more in the conversation, or are we kind of reaching because we're looking to make a wider field?
I mean, it's hard in Jigba because the guy throwing him the ball is an MVP candidate too.
Right.
So it's kind of like which one's more important, right? Jonathan Taylor's interesting. The last time a running back won the award was Adrian Peterson in 2012. It's weird. I feel like people don't respect running backs anymore. It's just, a lot more running backs won it in the era of the running game.
Yep.
Where it's not this important. It's not stressed, and so people don't see it as an important part, which it still is. But so I think that's going to hurt him. Even though he might break all the records, it still isn't a position that is valued, not even close as much to the quarterback. So I think that's unfortunately going to be a reason why he doesn't win it.
Going to get a nice bronze medal.
Nice offensive player of the year.
Yeah, He'll be up there on stage for that for sure.
I actually do think Daniel Jones and people's uncomfortable analysis of him, is he good? Is he not good? Is he the guy I knew on the Giants? Is he going to fall apart? Is he turn? That helps Jonathan Taylor, because some people are prone to not trust Daniel Jones, and they're like, but they're really good, so I got to acknowledge it somehow. And it's almost like that leads you to say, well, Jonathan Taylor's awesome behind that offensive line, and give him credit for that. I don't know. I know it's a weird topic, and you're right, Ted. If Drake Maye weren't in the conversation, I'd have no interest in this topic. Like, there was a lot of Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen last year, and I was like, I don't know. I don't really care. They're both great quarterbacks. I'd care more about which one goes deeper in the playoffs, goes to the Super Bowl, wins a Super Bowl, than who wins the MVP.